She gets character development. She gets character development. Gakudo's weird female sidekick, who mostly just exists for a random gag, gets character development and an arc. What is happening here? What is going on? Why? I don't get it, but I like it. Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to YGO 7's. This episode went in a direction I wasn't expecting, kind of was very joyful in ways I wasn't expecting. So let's get right into it with where we start off. We begin with Yuga and crew waking up at their training camp when they walk outside to reveal that somehow in one night, 3 elementary school kids with little excavators dug a crater. This is a literal plot hole. Like, literally, it's a plot hole. So they make this giant hole, and it's silly, and it's kind of dumb looking. But then Yuga does the thing to make it work in the way only Yuga can. He tapes up Kaizo, sentences him to horny jail, and throws him over the edge. Could he have thrown a rock? Could he have gotten something from inside? Yes, but he doesn't do that. He throws Kaizo over the edge, and it's so funny, because, I didn't expect it. It's really good, and then Kaizo just comes up and is like, what the fuck, man? You went and did all that to save me, and now you're just throwing me in a hole. So then Kaizo hits Yuga, and we go back to everyone in the room where we find out all the food is missing, which exists for one joke, but because it's a Luke joke, it's okay. Because, they're sort of building it up oh my god, they stole all their food too, what's gonna happen? It's no, Luke ate all the food, because of course he would, because he's Luke. So yeah, then that happens, and then of course, we do the thing that anyone would realize you could do. I also like that there's no cell phone reception, because they're in the mountains. Anyone who likes to go hiking knows that feeling. But then it's just kind of well, why don't we just send the flying robot to deal with it? And Kai's like, no, not after all the crap you put me through, which he is totally valid to think. But then his waifu comes to his rescue, and they do this, shoujo-style shot of Roman being like, please do it, buddy. I give Roman's voice actress a lot of credit, from that really goofy scream she did, which I loved, to that little bit. She really brings the character to a lot of directions, when so often than not, girl characters in these kinds of shows just end up bland and boring. But no, she really gets into it. She can do a lot with the character, except sing in the end credits. But, that's neither here nor there. So anyways, Kaizo then goes off to find Sebastian, where we get maybe the most underliningly sexual joke in the whole franchise, because Sebastian is, massaging the camp overseer, and Kaizo's oh, you'll massage anybody, but my girl has sent me on a message, my special one, my waifu, she's doing it for me, man. That was, that's one of those jokes you just sit there and you just wonder what the intention was and how much marijuana the writers smoke. So then, naturally, because we wouldn't have an episode if that was the end of it, Kaizo and Sebastian decide to end their rivalry in a joke so obvious and so stupid, but god damn it, it made me laugh. So they're dealing with that. Then Yuga and crew don't get any real play for the rest of the episode. We switch focuses, which other Yu-Gi-Ohs will do, but normally when they do that, it goes to, the next most important character, which would be Roa in this situation, except Roa didn't go to the training camp because he's actually probably practicing dueling like a real duelist. So yeah, so then we move over to Gakudo's sidekicks, the other 2 student council kids. And we saw this in the preview. I thought that was going to be a 1-minute thing. I didn't think most of the episode would revolve around these 2. But I kind of dig it. First and foremost, I should probably address the acting. Guy's fine, just does it pretty normal. The girl, though, she's putting on this sort of, kind of goofy, I don't know what you call that voice, but you see it a lot in these kinds of anime. Sort of that old-style Japanese cinema talk, I guess, is how you would describe it. Normally that can get on my nerves. So often than not in these shows, the acting is, trying to be over the top and goofy voices, and it just gets grating after a while. But, no, this actress, I think, did a pretty good job. The only times I think the voice kind of stopped working was when she had to get really emotional during the duels. But to be fair, I don't know how far these are planned in advance, and I think she probably was just trying to make this work, and she does a good enough job. But then, like, she just gets a character arc. Like, okay, it's a fairly generic arc for a female character. You get this bit where she's like, I like the bit at the beginning about Gakudo, like how he's kind of changed and how he's growing as a person. I think that's kind of cute. But then the next bit is like her being like, well, I don't understand what he sees in YGO, why he's hanging out. He only causes trouble and doesn't listen in class. And oh my god, he's so cute. I kind of like the way that was executed because you don't see it coming. You don't think this character is going to have any personality or role in the story. And the way the scene starts out is exactly what you'd expect for this kind of thing. She's just kind of like, oh, he's such a bum. Like, time to build up the protagonist. But no, it actually, like, goes to being about her character development and how in watching him cause trouble, it's kind of made her develop a crush. And it's kind of cute. It's adorable. Again, you know, it's always problematic. A woman's character must always revolve around their man type thing. You know, that's a bit of a problem, but to be fair, half this show is a horny robot, so I think it's okay. That's cute. And then they run into Goha's Sixth Machine Club, who we talked about last week. And this was weird. So we meet the main kid where we are confirmed that these are children, but it's presented as a joke. Like, how are these kids? The thing is, in a lot of these anime, you're expected to believe, in most anime, you're expected to believe characters who look like adults or look like a certain age are a different age. And depending on the show, it can get really irritating. And especially in these kid anime where it's just like, this is clearly a 25-year-old man now being treated as a small child, and it just gets ridiculous. But in this, it's kind of okay because, like, that's the joke. Like, it's weird. It makes zero sense. And I really dig that. I also think the actor does a really good job matching the actress's weird old Japanese accent, where it's revealed that these guys dug the hole for some reason, and they're looking for ore to find the origins of dueling. I mean, this is what we have the wiki for, or just watch Robbie Cole videos. That guy is ancient as fuck. And then it's just kind of like, all right, so if you want to get to the others, you got to beat me in a duel. And it turns out this guy's dual disc is an excavator. Excavator. The dual disc comes out of the excavator. That is so weird and stupid. I love it. And so then, also the other thing I want to point out that's kind of funny, and I can't help but wonder if this is meant to be a stab at the meta players, is he's just like, nah, fuck this rush dueling. It's new, it's different, it shits on tradition. This is literally what I hear from everybody every time we get a new mechanic. You may not have liked pendulum summoning. You may have thought Master Rule 4 was invasive. But the thing is, you can't ignore the fact that a lot of people just don't like change or like to do anything different. And that's clearly what I think affects a lot of the new summoning mechanics. So to see that addressed here, I thought was a really fun little joke. And then the duel happens, and it's pretty fun. She uses Flower Ninjas. That's kind of a nice change of pace. He uses Infitrax. I know it's not Infitrax, but let me have this, people. Let me have this. The duel's fun. It's cute. I like it's not totally one-sided. You think since these are our antagonistic characters for the arc that the first duel would be one-sided, but no, because the episode is dedicated to giving this girl, like, to get you to care about this girl and her brother to a certain extent, it's actually a really fun duel, and I actually really enjoyed it. He obviously wins, and they have to join the machining club, but what I like is that he's not then, like, generic baddie. He's just kind of like, all right, welcome aboard. Come on, guys, let's have fun. He's very nice and friendly to them. And, like, yes, as we see in the final shot of the episode, this is to play into whatever the weird plan is, but he could have been a dick to them, and he wasn't. And I feel like that gives him a little more character than your average perfunctory, like, second in command. And I thought that was really nice, and I appreciated it. And, of course, then they go rescue Yuga-kun and crew. I don't know why they waited so late, unless, like, they didn't know the food was missing. It was like, we'll sweat them out. We'll just try to annoy them. But they save the crew, and then at the end, he's just like, nah, I haven't seen him. And that, like, immediately makes him more interesting than most villains in anything like this. It's such just a cool, neat little trick of you just don't know what he's after or what he's really trying to do. And it makes me want to know more about him and the main villain when we get to her and what's going on. And fuck it, I care about these twins now. I want to know what happens to them. So yeah, that was this week's Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s. Did things I wasn't expecting. I appreciate it. And of course, we got to talk about that final scene. Kaizo and Sebastian have a traditional manly brawl. I don't know how, because one of them doesn't have arms. But they have this brawl and they're friends, and thus the greatest Yu-Gi-Oh ship was born. So yeah, that was Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s this week. As for the TCG question of the week, the Speed Duel Box came out last week. I did not know this was happening until I saw it at my local store. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, this is a kind of a cute idea. Like, just giving you a bunch of the Battle City decks. Now, my question to you is this. After we started getting a lot of the stuff in actual Duel Links, it wasn't long till we moved on to GX. So, to all of you who care about speed duels, do you think we'll be moving into GX next? Because I'm not going to lie, I really like the feel of speed duel cards, and I'd love to get the heroes in them. Or, if you are not into speed duels, would getting more stuff from that era, when in many people, Yu-Gi-Oh! Kind of really found its footing as to what it is now, would that get you interested in speed duels? Tell me about all that below. And as always, click to like, click to subscribe, and join me next week, because is that Luke's sister? Looks kind of like Luke's sister. I don't know.